Good evening.
Good porridge.
Oh, good porridge to you too.
First thing that popped into my head.
Oh, that sounds painful.
Oh shit! You haven't seen Multiverse of Madness, but there was a bit of nice reference down there that you would have got if.
Oh, where he uses the powers of magic to swap someone's brain with some porridge.
Yeah.
And then eats the brain,
some porridge
obviously.
into someone's brain. Yeah.
Eats the brain to get their powers.
Yeah, I mean, you have heard that the Doctor Strange is a horror, the first Marvel horror film, so
I have heard that. I've forgotten until just now, but yeah.
So yeah, no, it makes sense. Swap it with the porridge, then eat the brains, much as a zombie would.
Yes.
Zombie.
If you
say that word.
If you put something in the space where the brain should be, does it become the new brain? So like you think with porridge instead, with the limited neural capacity that porridge has, i.e. none.
Well, yeah, most probably then, you just flop to the ground, brain dead or brainless.
Yes. But like, I suppose the film Get Out proves that you can swap brains because it was a documentary.
No, I haven't seen that.
Spoilers. So yeah, I guess it would work. You could put, instead of a brain, you could put like a small mouse, like Ratatouille.
A little hamster on a wheel.
Yeah. Then all you could do was go forward.
Yeah. Or backwards, depending on what way the mouse is wheeling.
True. Your bottom section just spins round like a Dalek.
Yes. The top stays. Yeah. Nice. No, the top does spin round, but it's like a little bit after, because for some reason Daleks don't just spin their whole bodies, they spin bit by bit.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that? I obviously it's for fancy looks, it looks cool, but have you ever seen a Dalek just spin its whole self? It just kind of, or a modern Dalek anyway, just kind of turns the middle, and then the rest of it will sort of follow round.
Yeah. I guess it's like, maybe it's to do with mass. It will take longer to spin the whole thing round. They just want the gun there straight away.
I mean, yeah, make a sense if you get,
If you want an in-universe reason.
Yeah, if you want to put logic to Doctor Who.
So, on the Doctor Who train...
Oh, we'll keep on this train.
Yeah.
So it's our main train.
I mentioned to you in IRL life that I had a spoiler. I'm not going to say the spoiler, but it's something that you've mentioned before, that there was a large, not physically, although I'm sure he's a beef man, beefy. Not beef man. Let me just sound like he's a cow.
Off the top of my head, yeah, I would, but I can't say I've seen him in much recently.
But there's
the big sitcom he was a part of, so.
Now I don't know if we're talking about the same person, but anyway.
Okay.
So I saw a spoiler of an American famous man who's going to be in Doctor Who. I don't know who as, but I've seen the person, and it really pissed me off. And I know when you've been spoilt before by YouTube titles and thumbnails, you've not been petty, and you've said, I'm not going to name and shame them. Now, Ozzy, I'm not a petty man, but I am vindictive. So I want to give the big opposite of a shout out to the channel Mr. TARDIS who spoilt this for me, and I recommend everyone to not watch their videos.
A big shout in.
Always shout in. Yeah. I was going to say whisper down, but it wasn't shout up, so I don't know where down came from.
I was always shout in about something.
Shout in, yeah, I like that. It's like all the you see it in the films and the TV. I guess that like the first thing I think of is the Ark from Raiders of the Lost Ark, when it all shoots back in and the lid comes back on.
Yeah. I was just going to say is shouting, another one of the brides down in the basement.
Shouting.
Is it bad that there's like 90% of words we can just turn into like an Asian name?
Yeah. But I wouldn't go on about shouting because I try and keep quiet about her.
Mm-hmm. You don't want all the other girls to get jealous.
No. Yeah, so there we are. That's that. I listened to the final two big finishes in the Hex saga.
Haga.
The Hex cycle.
Oh.
Hexicle.
Hexicle.
And I found out afterwards when I looked up to make sure I hadn't missed any. There were actually two in between, but they were just like regular adventures. They weren't part of like the plot line, so I don't mind missing them.
Okay, no, that's
So Afterlife was good, and there was a really badass moment when a villain who's being defeated says to the Doctor, "Pity me," and the music crescendos and goes silent, and the Doctor just says, "Fear me."
Okay, that's a bit. I just imagine sort of like, "Pity me." No, just walks off.
Yeah,
Really, just as simple as no, and then but yeah, fear me.
This big speech about how awesome he is, which was awesome, and then the final one was Signs and Monsters, which was okay.
Okay, okay.
It wasn't as good as the others, but it was the end of the story.
They
so
can't all be killer storylines now.
No, and I'm glad I finally finished that plot thread now.
But I mean, it says something about Big Finish when even its okay ones are just okay, and I can't really think of any that I've been like, oh, that was bad.
One of their first ones.
Some of the earlier ones I think could be.
Was it the werewolf one?
I don't remember.
I remember not being a fan of that one.
Maybe it was bad. That's why I can't remember.
Was it Tegan and Turlo? Was Tegan involved? It must have been if Turlo was. I guess.
No, sometimes it Faz?
Anyway.
Turlo's been in a few of just him and the Doctor, I think, especially in the early days.
It was they went to Brazil. I think they went to Rio or something, and there was a story about werewolves, which just wasn't very good.
Okay, I don't remember.
But the early ones were weird because like you had. See, that one, Turlo just spent all his time complaining about everything, which is annoying.
Okay.
Which didn't help the episode. Maybe if it had been a different companion, it would have been different, if he'd been written differently. Then, oh fuck, I've forgotten the name, Nissa.
Yeah.
Was just written to complain all the time in the early Big Finishes, and that was really annoying. And then once they actually sorted her out, she became one of my favourites from that range.
Hadn't quite worked out what... It's sort of like early Big Finishes, they were focused on developing the Doctors past what the classic series had done. And then once they'd worked out what they were doing with their Doctors, they were like, right, now we need to start doing something with the companions, because they're kind of just there.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first, 20 or so Big Finishes could be a little bit janky at times, but they start to pick up their pacing at a certain point, and it's like, okay, we know where... We've worked out what we want to do with these companions. I guess at the start, you're just given 8 doctors and 50 companions to work with. And you're like, right, now we've got to give them all personalities apart from, oh no, what's that doctor?
And something for the dads. You can't do that with audio.
That's exactly.
It was because obviously haven't been following Big Finish since it started, so I'm coming late to it. It's
I'm a bit late.
I often forget how long it's been around. When I first listened through all the monthly range, you'd listen to a story, you'd finish it, and then you'd look up some trivia about it or whatever, and you'd see that it came out in 2001. And oh shit, yeah. And you get really far into the monthly range before you hit 2005. You don't realise it's actually, this must have been Doctor Who for the fans for a while before it came back,
It would have been, yeah.
It's awesome. Another recommendation of Big Finish. Also, so Doctor Who 2005 Series 1 2005 came out on the 26th of March 2005. So the one that came out in the Big Finish monthly release in March 2005 was number 67.
Which one was that?
That was Dreamtime with Ace, Hex, and the Galliari, and the Seventh Doctor.
I might remember it.
Speaking of Hex, I'm just looking it up. Oh, it was the Aboriginal Dreamtime things. They're on They find this city that's on a big asteroid. I don't remember what happens, but I remember the setting. Uluru City in the far future.
Wow.
That's right, because it was the Galliari. Those were the aliens who were really sensitive to bright colours.
Yes. Okay.
Who the Doctor was like their big villain.
I do vaguely remember that one. Yeah. Literally only the fact that they were sensitive to the colours.
Yeah.
But...
See, even that's funny. Like, I'm just talking about, I've just listened to the last Hex story, and he was already an established companion in 2005.
Yeah, I know. It's mad.
I've been experiencing this all in the wrong order.
Well, that, like, I do remember knowing of Hex a lot longer, sort of since about the 2005-6 era, because I think one of the early physical audiobooks I had was his first one, which was, I think, The Harvest or something.
Okay, yeah, that rings a bell.
Where they're in the hospital with the Cybermen.
Yeah, of course.
And I've had that because I got like 2 or 3 in a charity shop cheap. One was the Greyest, one was the Harvest, and then one was another 7th Doctor one. So I've known of Hex for quite a while. I've maybe dipped my tip into Big Finish a lot longer than you, but I wasn't quite deep into it. I haven't gone balls deep yet.
No, haven't put your balls in.
No, like in betweeners.
I forgot about that. Yeah, no, so Hex's last story was 2014, so...
Jesus, yeah, good 9 years.
Yeah. 8 years.
No, I'm not the maths.
Oh, 9 years since 2005, though.
Yeah.
That's what you meant. Yeah.
That's what I meant, yeah.
Yeah. How long we got? It's October, isn't it, the next Doctor Who?
Are we really?
October. 3 months.
I mean, we're excited in a way, but...
I'm always excited to see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, and I suppose we're getting Redacted and Redacted back, so...
Yeah. I wasn't sure about Redacted, though.
No. I'm wondering how they'll handle Redacted. The other Redacted I'm not so close to, but one of the Redacteds I am, so... Considering who the writer is, yeah.
Next year we're gonna have to, like, it's like Soviet Russia or fucking 1984 or something. We'll have to go back and just purge Chibnall from the records.
But isn't there like rumors that that's what RTD is going to do in RTD2 Electric Boogaloo? It's just basically...
Oh, I don't know, I haven't seen.
Okay.
But yeah, like Bonfire of the Cannons.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could always, if he's...
It's a joke for the Renaissance
I've
fans.
definitely heard he's meant to be doing multiverse shiz, because everyone and their mum's got a multiverse nowadays.
I think they've registered a company called, like, Who Multiverse or something like that.
Okay. So you could always just use the excuse that Whittaker was trapped in the wrong universe.
Yeah.
That wasn't our master, that wasn't our Gallifrey. Joe Martin was meant to be the Doctor of that era, but it was all... She was the timeless child, not our Doctor. Our Doctor is just a normal Gallifreyan, the other, but we won't go into that. Something we still need to do is the dramatic reading of Longborough.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we should do that as like a live stream or something one day.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea, actually. Hang on, what episode are we on at the moment? I think this is number 236. So maybe that's for 250.
250, yeah.
So we'll have to do... I'd like to do a live one for 250 anyway.
Yeah, every 50 or so, a nice live one would be nice. If we can be bothered / remember.
Yes, every 50 years or so.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I've got any news outside of the Whoniverse.
Can't find the name of that company. Can't remember what it was called. It was something like that anyway, multiverse related. Like Whoniverse. Wait, was it Whoniverse 1? Whoniverse 1. Yeah, there it was. Here we are, it's in the suggestions. Whoniverse 1 Limited.
Okay.
Registered on the 2nd of November 2021. Managing Director Julie Gardner.
it's just kind of nostalgic to hear those names again, sort of like with Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Sort of like last time we had like produced by Julie Gardner, directed by Russell T Davies. It's sort of
Yeah. Here are as well. Persons of interest. Bad Wolf Limited. Ownership of shares 75% or more. So
whoa.
yeah, owned by Bad Wolf. Julie Gardner's running it. It's happening.
Sigh of relief for the upcoming years. We still got one hurdle, but I guess it'll be fun to see what they do with that final hurdle. Do they climb over it? Do they jump over it? Do they run into it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And as I've mentioned before, redacted. So
Redacted, yeah.
redacted. So that would be interesting. Even if it's just
Pterodactyl.
You see, I was about to say, do you reckon they'd tie in redacted with the extended universe canon? But considering it's Chibnall, I doubt it.
I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
The redacted and redacted are going to be back, but
I can't honestly
no.
remember the specifics.
Okay. It's probably a good thing. It's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
A bit like that.
I think I can. Oh yeah, redacted and redacted. But then I don't know.
Because
No, it doesn't matter.
obviously, redacted and redacted have carried on in the expanded universe.
Yes. Oh, to tie in that. I see. Yeah.
Would any? I was going to ask whether any of that would get mentioned, but considering it's Chibnall,
Well,
probably not.
I think we could guarantee it if it was, or at least he'd want to if it was Russell the Davis.
If it was Russell Davis, yeah,
Because
but he's not right.
he tied in so much of the Big Finish stuff when he brought it back. Yeah, but
He's not right in the final one.
no.
I mean, if redacted and redacted carry, that would tickle my pickle.
Need a tissue.
Like, I just had an imagine like a hypothetical future Doctor Who TARDIS team with the new Doctor plus redacted and redacted, and that's just series 14.
That'd be alright, wouldn't it?
It's but I can't see that happening.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. They'd probably just kill him off. Knowing him. Anyway.
But like even in the new series with Russell the Davis, he may be a big fan of the expanded universe, but I don't think you need to go as far to.
No, I meant Chibnall.
Yeah, I know, but that's my dream imagining was that the Russell T Davis is that after Chibnall's final one, redacted and redacted carry on as the companions,
like in Bohemian Rhapsody. As though nothing really matters.
Yes.
Yeah, we haven't had any sort of. I mean, I've seen spoilers here and there, as I'm sure you have, about the 60th.
Yep.
But for the season afterwards, series afterwards, I don't.
Been
we don't know
watching
anything
too
yet,
much
really.
of that Netflix.
I know.
Netflix.
I also said
thingsy shit.
I also said season earlier because I was talking. They're called the Doctor Who classics are called season blah blah blah, aren't they? So
yeah, that
kind
we
of.
can.
I think that got it stuck in my head.
Okay, well, let you off then.
My Hellfire Club T-shirt came today from Stranger Things. I was very happy about that.
I swear that was something in Marvel.
Probably. They probably all got it from D&D.
Was
It's an air-to-surface missile. That's not it.
Yeah, there was also Hellfire Clubs in Marvel.
Okay.
A fictional society appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics.
It's the one in Stranger Things is probably a reference to that then, because it's all very sort of nerdtastic.
Yeah.
Well, I learned something this week.
Life's not worth it, and we should all just give up.
Not quite.
Okay.
You know Jonathan Creek?
Yeah.
So, Alan the Davis.
Personally. Yeah.
Wait, not Alan the Davis.
Alan
Davis
Davis.
was on Richard Herrings's podcast.
Oh, okay.
And inevitably they spoke about Jonathan Creek.
Yeah.
And Alan Davis was saying he was like the 50th person in line to do that. It was written because the guy who writes it, I've forgotten his name, was like really particular about everything. Like he'd even kind of like, on set he'd say, in the script it says you're holding it this way up or whatever. He'd be really particular about everything. And he wrote, for example, Carol and Quentin's part. He wrote it for Carol and Quentin. He has these people in mind for all the parts.
Yeah.
And for Jonathan Creek, he was thinking of Nicholas Lyndhurst.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But because Frost with David Jason had just started, Nicholas Lyndhurst didn't want to do a detective show as well.
Okay.
So then they went to the next person on their list, who was Hugh Laurie.
Oh.
Yeah. And he had agreed, but then I think someone came up or he didn't want to do it, changed his mind, and he withdrew. And eventually it was like, it's like in Father Ted, it was like, you were the first person we came to, and there's like a long list of names all crossed off, and then, Alan Davis is at the bottom.
Yeah.
But it works very well.
No, yeah. I haven't seen much of that. I've seen it, but not in a long time.
Oh, yeah, no, it's one of my...
Fell off my radar quite a while ago.
It's one of my big faves.
What year was it? Have we passed it? I think we have, haven't we?
Oh, almost certainly.
Yeah. It's a shame because I did my TV of the year, but it seems t'other one doesn't wish to join us down in the...
Yeah.
Justice.
David Renwick is the one who wrote it. It started in 1997.
Yeah, right then.
Yeah. But yeah, it's quite fun just imagining Nicholas Lyndhurst in that role. It fits.
Yeah.
It fits. It just makes sense because they wrote it for him.
True, yeah. Well, it's been hot.
It's been bloody hot, hasn't it?
I know.
Aye. Oh, it has.
Feeling it a little bit.
Yeah, no, I've shorts and t-shirt weather.
Feel the fatigue.
So rare in this country.
We've only got it for a week. Enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. And guess when I've booked my week off? Week after next.
Yeah.
Just when the good weather goes away.
Well, you never know. It might hold up.
Yeah. It'd still be warm anyway, because it's still summery. It's not meant to like rain or be windy or anything rubbish like that. So, but yeah, like I tried to predict the future when I booked but it's like, based on what normally happens in the weather in summer, when can I get the best weather? I suppose I can be happy with a week off without a meteorology degree.
Well, I mean, now I'm into Monday's my last day, and then I'm off for 6 weeks. So. Well, 1,
Damn.
2, 3, 4.
You got all the.
6 weeks. Nice.
You got all the holidays.
All the holidays. It's why I like working in schools.
Although speaking of holy days, we've gone past the summer solstice, so I'm afraid you've missed that holy day.
I cannot
Days are getting shorter and shorter.
I'm afraid.
You got the night of the 20th into the morning of the 21st is when night returns to this country.
Yeah, because we've been missing night for a long time.
About a month. No, we have, literally. So night is defined as when the sun goes a certain number of degrees below the horizon. And in the summer, for about a month or two, it doesn't go far enough below the horizon for it to be
Considered
technically
night.
called night.
Okay.
It's actually civil twilight.
Even at night, it's still not technically night, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
that always makes me chuckle. Like we don't have a night. It's like we're in the Arctic Circle or something.
Yeah, where the sun just gets taken, the moon just gets taken away for night. Night
Comes from the moon.
Yeah. It's like light comes from the sun, night comes from the moon.
Exactly.
Like a yin and yang thing.
Yeah. And there's a little bit of the moon in the sun, and a little bit of the sun in the moon.
Yeah, and that stops them from getting too big above their boots.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
actually,
a big flower that's been planted in a boot.
I guess
Gets too big, falls over.
Real world news that I actually know nothing about, but I only know because of the breaking news section in YouTube thumbnails is that Boris Johnson's left, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, Joris Bonson.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I don't follow. politics.
Basically, in a nutshell, he's a
People
bloody
don't
liar
like
and
it.
a
Okay.
charlatan. He's a buffoon and a circus clown.
Well, yeah, that was obvious, but what was the reason?
Because it's like every time,
What's
every
different
time
from
he
every
did,
other prime minister we've had?
yeah. So, what happened first? I can't remember. Well, like he constantly just lies about shit and
Okay.
nothing ever happens. But it's the same with all politicians, isn't it? They would just lie about stuff and then nothing ever gets done about it.
Yeah.
But with him, he then had, yeah, that's it. During lockdown, he had several parties at 10 Downing Street.
I know that had happened once or twice. Yeah, I'd heard of that.
Yeah. And he got like him and a lot of his ministers got fined by the police for breaking lockdown rules.
Yeah.
But it was like 50 quid or something when like, you know, the plebs on the street get fined £1,000 or whatever.
Yeah, obviously.
But it was like he got asked about it in Parliament and he said, I was not aware of anything happening on that day. And then pictures came out of him at it. And
Him
he was
there
like,
with his tie tied around his head.
yeah.
Bottle of wine in one hand.
Whoever was releasing these pictures was doing a sterling job because then he was asked again and he was like, look, I didn't know. I popped in for 2 seconds to say hi, but I didn't know anything was going on. And then it transpired it was his birthday party.
Okay.
And yeah, it just got worse and worse, basically.
People just kind of got tired of it by this point.
Yeah. And then I think something else happened, but I can't remember it all. The latest thing is that one of his staff members was, I don't know if he's accused or found guilty, how far along it is, but of sexual assault.
Okay.
And then it turned out that Johnson knew about it, but kind of laughed it off and said, oh yeah, that's what he's like. So it all just kind of reached a point where it just reached boiling point for all the... But it's one of those things like all his ministers and everything, all just like, he had like 50 resignations or something in one day, which that's what prompted him to resign. But very few of them are doing it for moral reasons because they've stood by the guy for years up until this point. They're just doing it now because they've realised that this is the end of the line sort of thing. They don't want to be tarnished with it.
Yeah.
It's all very disingenuous politics.
And that's why I don't really follow it.
Yeah.
I keep my
There
mind
was one thing that...
young as I can, and that involves ignoring politics.
Do you know what? At sort of late 2016, I stopped looking at any news because I just was just fed up with it. It was all bad news.
Pulled you
And
back.
then 2019, with all the Brexit shenanigans coming to the fore, I got into it again. And I've been thinking I need to block the websites or something on my computer to stop myself looking at it because I was a lot happier. Yeah, no, there was one thing that really made me laugh, though. Much as I don't like Boris Johnson, one of his ministers said to him, you've got until 9 p.m. to resign or I'm quitting. So then Johnson waited until 8:59 and fired the guy. Which I thought was very funny.
That is, yeah. It's, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a complete dickhead, idiot, but sometimes in funny ways. Not always, but yeah.
It's not necessarily the attitude you want your Prime Minister to have, but
No.
it made me laugh. So yeah, one idiot out, there'll be another idiot in a few weeks.
Yeah, big surprise.
Yeah.
It's a wonder I don't remember any of the Prime Minister's names. It's just like, we go through them so bloody quick.
Since 2015, we've had
200.
three Prime Ministers, and this will be our fourth now. So I'm curious about this now. It's all merged into one. Yeah, David Cameron 2010 to 2016, Theresa May 2016 to 2019, Johnson 2019 to 2020, 2020 to 2022. And then whoever we get in now, if they lose the election in 2024, there'll be another one again. It's like we only keep them for 2 or 3 years. Maybe that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Like the Roman consuls, although I think they were for a year.
Behead them at the end of each.
Yeah, that way it's only people who really want to do it.
Yeah. They'll be serious about their job.
I love this new beheading-based political system. I think.
Yeah, no,
I think you'd win a lot of votes if you said I'm going to change it. Although you'd have to quit before you became elected.
Yeah. So they can stay prime minister as long as they need to, or as long before it takes them to be like forced out, like Boris Johnson has been.
Yeah.
But once you leave or are forced out, you are beheaded. So if you do a good job for 20 years, you will be prime minister for 5 to 20 years. But if you fuck up and get kicked out, you're beheaded.
You have to go head first into a slide, and then at the end of a slide there's a hole for your head, and then a guillotine comes down.
We make it a sport. All ex-prime ministers got to be put on a desert island.
Oh yeah, like Love Island.
Like Love Island. Yes. And the two that survive have to get married.
Yeah. David Cameron and Theresa May are in bed together.
I've
never seen Love Island, I don't know.
No, like what was the Love Island equivalent of the diary room?
I don't know.
They're in the diary shack.
I did that voice though because I'm sure Ian Sterling is the narrator on it.
Ian Sterling is. That's the only thing I know about it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I'm sure I've heard people talk about Love Island enough that I could figure something out.
No. Idiots get thrown on an island and have to bang each other. That's kind of all I kind of understand.
They get given one gun with one bullet.
One gun, one bullet. Russian roulette. And that's how they do the the evictions at the end of the week.
Yeah, they get given a gun each with one bullet, and they have to choose whether to silence one of their incessantly vapid colleagues or take the easy route out on themselves.
Well, I didn't know if it was they're all given guns, but only one of the gun has a bullet in it. And it's up to them to pick. The guns are all laid out on a table. They don't know which one has the bullet in it, and they all have to choose their gun and then shoot themselves. And
there's one guy like, the table's low, 1 millimeter lower on that side. That means the gun on that corner has the bullet in it because it's slightly heavier. And then it cuts to like before the show, and it shows the producer sawing a millimeter off the bottom of the table leg or something.
We'd be perfect working for the Bad Wolf Corporation.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a definite Bad Wolf show.
Yep.
It's also just needlessly cruel. It's perfect.
That's like a Lower Decks-esque, Higher Decks-esque comedy.
Lower Decks? What's that?
I don't know what came into me there. I was just thinking about a load of dicks going into me, and I spluttered my words. But yeah, it's like this whole Upper Round Deck-esque spin-off show for Doctor Who that focuses on the people running the satellite Bad Wolf station.
They're just doing their jobs.
Yeah, and each episode, it's like they have to come up with a new game show, and that's kind of how each episode is they come up with the game show for the first half, and then the last half is them making the game show and presenting it.
That could even be a show on Bad Wolf TV. It could be like The Apprentice, where one person gets hired and the rest of them have to compete in that game show. When you said load of dicks, it reminded me of the Peter Crouch podcast. Not for the reason you might think. They've started to put adverts on their podcast, and they said it's only fair that we let listeners sell something they want to sell as well. Someone was trying to sell their flat, so they ended up finding them a buyer for it via the podcast, and then they ended up setting up their own estate agent. So instead of Purple Bricks, it's called Load of Pricks.
Okay, I kind of like that.
It's very funny. It's one of those. It's a podcast. It's like obviously it's generally about football because it's Peter Crouch talking about his life in football, but it's like it's not really about football. So I'd recommend it because it's just kind of like the banter between them. Likewise, Athletico Mints, Bob Mortimer and Andy Dawson's podcast. It's supposed to be about football, but it's really just a load of silly sketches that they write. So, some of the characters are footballers or managers or whatever, but it's not about them. That was Christian's recommendations. That were Christian recommendations.
That were.
That were.
That were.
Were it?
That were. And that was that. So that was this.
This is this.
This is this. But is that that?
You can't just keep saying this is this. Hang on, let me look this up. Stuart Lee, this is this. There we go. I don't think there's a video of it. That was a very good moment from Stuart Lee's comedy vehicle. There we are. We'll never know.
Wow, shame.
I'll have to cut that out and stick it onto Blinking Clavicular, my secret channel.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not a secret now. You just you just watch like 15. You get more subscribers on that than you do on any other channels.
I certainly get more views on that one. Because it's clips from shit.
Yeah, that's because it's nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
Maybe you should start.
I would start a fan edit channel.
Or just
And
start
it'd be
uploading
like-
stuff to that and monetizing them. You might
It'd be
actually get some kind
clips.
of problem.
It'd be clips of Doctor Holmes and Sherlock Watson or whatever their names are. Just like any scene that they're together and happen to look at each other with Evanescence playing over the top of it. That's what I imagine most fan edits are.
I was just checking the Christian 444, but we haven't had a Minecraft in a couple of days. So.
No, that's the next one to edit. I've been a little bit
okay.
you're not in the right mindset the last couple of days. The next one is mince. Then there's a hat in time. Then there's 3 minces in a row. So you'll be happy with that.
Okay.
I still haven't finished hat in time either. I need to get back in there. I kind of half finished it. Their second to last DLC was just unreasonably difficult. I really hate when games do that, when it's just like, you've got to get an inch perfect jump. And
Yeah.
I like games to be challenging. Obviously the difficulty goes up, but just I find that pointlessly difficult. And it was like this super long level, so many ways to die, and the checkpoint was like way back at the start. And I think I tried it 3 times on my last playthrough and rage quit every time.
Actually, the last thing I can think of that was similar to that was probably it was Zelda again, Breath of the Wild, but they released their DLC of the Master Trials, and it was just like you start off with nothing, and you get no continues, and if you die, you got to restart the entire thing.
Yeah, Nintendo hard, isn't it? They used to call that.
Yeah,
I know games always used to be like that. We'll get like the older millennials to calling us PU55Ys, but it's. I don't play games to frustrate myself.
No. That's I think I've realised that recently, is especially with playing Legends Arceus, and you'll suddenly get the little platforming bit where you got to dodge a Pokemon jumping at you whilst throwing food in their face. And I'd just get really frustrated with it, and it's like, this isn't why I play Pokemon. It's I play Pokemon to catch the Pokemon and stuff. I don't mind that aspect of it, but I think I like games that challenge me in a mind way, but not in a reflexes sort of way.
Yeah.
So hard platforming games. I'm not.
Onto Portal.
I've played one of them and I've watched the video for the other one. I can't. It's been a while. It's been a long time. I have played Portal in some aspect.
That was a quote from the trailer. It's been a long time. How have you been? I think it's from the game as well, actually.
You'd assume they just make stuff for the trailers which don't go. Yeah.
I've been having a great time being dead after you murdered me. Just hat in time, obviously, the second to last DLC I rage quit several times, but then the last, you don't have to do them in order. The last DLC, Yakuza Metro, is phenomenal, and I love that one a lot, and I listen to the music from it a lot as well. Pink Pool Station Synthwave, this is my jam.
This sounds like a euphemism. The Pink Pool Station.
Pink Pool. Oh. Where are you getting off? I don't know, I said it in an American accent.
Because all Americans go to the Pink Pool Station.
Oh,
I can't do accents. That's like the closest I can get to an American accent.
That does sound like you're from the Deep South. It works.
Okay. I'll take it. I've never prided myself. Proud.
I've never proud myself.
Yeah, on my accents, but I'll take it when I can.
I always remember someone I used to work with who was from Pontefract in Yorkshire.
Oh.
She was adamant that she didn't have an accent. It was everyone else that had the accent. No, but when I talk, it just sounds like normal. I remember our boss desperately trying to explain to her, everyone has an accent.
Yeah.
Well, I think you stink, but I also think that's enough for
Is that our
for us today.
wrappings?
That's our.
We've planted
that's
a few
popping up.
plants in their pots, and we'll close the shed for another week.
Yeah. Put the bolt across, padlock in.
Yeah. It's the only thing
Give it a
I do
little shake.
need for my doors now is like a proper like latch, like a Chubb latch, sort of like.
Oh yeah.
Is that what they're called? I don't know. Chubb's a bolt,
Yeah, it
isn't
is. Chubb is a brand who makes
Chubb is
like
a-
locks and bolts and keys
Yeah,
and latches.
yeah.
It's just it's just the word Chubb. I'm just being
Chubb.
childish.
No, that's why I said it. Well, what's the actual like? What's the
The name for that type of latch. Yeah.
But no, there is like a brand of lock that the TARDIS actually uses, isn't there?
Oh, I see.
What is it? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Yale lock.
Oh yeah, perhaps, or is the Harvard lock?
Oh.
Yeah, because it's got like it's got the little lever you can turn, and then like a little latch that you can click into place that'll either lock it closed or open. I do prefer that because after Grenfell they replaced our front doors, individual front doors, with fire doors. So they've now got two deadbolts on them basically.
Yeah.
I do miss the latch though, because although it was a murder if you've ever just happened to forget to pick up your keys because the door would close behind you and you have no way of getting back in. But it was better for security that the door would automatically lock when it closed.
Yeah.
Because I have a couple of times I've woken up in the morning and realised that the door has been unlocked all night because I've like got in and done something and forgotten to lock it. So yeah, I'd rather have a latch, but I don't have one. So if anyone wants to come and burgle me,
My address is.
CBBC, London W12, PO Box 9989, London W12 again, 6PA. I think canonically for this podcast, London W12 is in there twice because I seem to put it in there twice every time.
It works. It's fine.
Yeah. Anyway, that's enough of that outro. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be back next week, hopefully with TV of the Year, but who knows in this crazy world of Arthur Brown.
Yeah, true.
Poo, poo, poo.
Choo.
Thomas. See you next time. Bye.
Choo.